Hello you lovely lot and welcome to my channel. I'm Katie and we are opening, unboxing, whatever you want to call it, the October UpCrate. If you're new here and you enjoy these kinds of videos, why not hit that subscribe button, give us a like and drop a comment down below. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we? This month's featured artist is Bash Aquarelas. I'm sorry if I've butchered that. And I love the print and it's very reflective of these materials we have. So the first thing I noticed was we had the Derivan liquid graphite, or liquid pencil, I think that's what it's called. And I'll be honest with you, I was very pleased to have it because I know a lot of people who have UpCrate don't have scroller box. But they were the exact same colours from the scroller box of July last year, so it looks like I've got extra ones of those, but I don't mind because I actually do like them. We also have a sketchbook, which is an accordion style. We have water-soluble crayons and 2 paintbrushes. And let's not forget the UpCrate magazine, which I am sure are getting thicker each month, which I'm not complaining about. I mean, I've flicked through it on here, but I do enjoy a brew and a sit down with a magazine. I'm a bit old school like that. Now let's go a little bit more in depth into things. So these are the Lyra water-soluble crayons, and they feel just like applying a regular crayon or regular wax crayon. We have 5 colours to choose from. They're all numbered colours, so I'm just going to describe them. We have a sort of a very tealy blue, I thought, a foresty olivey green, I know that's one or the other really, a very vivid sappy green, I guess, a warmish red tone and a cool red tone. As for the Derivan liquid pencil, we have yellow, blue and grey, and they're great and they're re-wettable as well. We have 2 paintbrushes as well in this box. One is a wash brush, it is a size 12 and it's a mop brush. The bristles are very soft on there, it hasn't got a huge amount of snap, but it does hold a lot of water and it maintains a nice point still, so that's good for your details. The second brush we have is a round tip in size 6 and it is a synthetic hairbrush. It's got a bit more of a snap to it, but again holds a good amount of water. The sketch pad we have is a zigzag sketch pad by Artiste. It's a watercolour based paper, though it does suggest mixed medium, and it has a rough surface on one side and a smoother one on the other. And the theme for this month's UpCrate battle is inspired by nature. Now I have a massive confession to make, and I don't feel bad about it either. I really like the sketchbook that we got in this month's box, and I couldn't bring myself to just do the prompt in that book. It's one of those ones where it's going to take me a good month to fill that and do something cohesive, and I actually want to do that in my own time, and of course I'll share it with you when I do get round to doing it. But for a prompt and for the little amount of time I have at the moment, I don't want to waste it on rushing something just for the sake of. So we have a different sketch pad instead. It's one I got from Jackson's a while back. I've also used liquid graphite on it before, and I think that was perfect for the medium. I had sketched it out beforehand again, and it's all down to time constraints. Hopefully once Inktober's out of the way, I can get into a better rhythm of working, but everything is just wild for me at the moment. I'm still incredibly busy. I used a wash of the warmer red and some of the liquid graphite. I think I might have used the yellow in there, and just added a wash of colour in the background using the large white mop brush, and I was really impressed by, again, how well it kept its point for the more intricate areas. I introduced a little extra of the liquid graphite in some areas around the top left hand corner of the picture and around where the face of the model is pointing. I went on to add those green tones on the vines. I thought it would be quite cool to have this model's hair partially as vines, as rose vines with leaves and thorns on them, and as well it merging into her hairline. I just thought that would be a pretty cool idea, and it is inspired by nature, so I'm definitely fitting that criteria. I mixed a little bit of blue in there as well using the crayons, and then when it came to diluting them with the brush, oh, they are beautiful. They remind me very much of the Caran d'Ache wax-based watercolour crayons. Actually, I'm not even sure if they're wax-based or not. They went on very smoothly. There wasn't so much debris coming off like you would get with a standard wax crayon, and they melted beautifully when water was applied to them. So yes, I am very impressed. I've managed to try a different brand of these crayons. Hehe, watch us get them next week and scroll a box as well. That would be hilarious. However, I wouldn't turn down additional ones. They are quite joyful to work with, and I liked how they dissolved as well. I know I have quite a textured paper here, and I did actually want to introduce texture in there, so the liquid graphite did that job. But when diluting them, they're so nice and smooth. They are a little bit buttery, so not quite so much like you would expect from a traditional watercolour, but still very manageable to use. I'm not a massive fan of directly applying these crayons to the paper, but in this case, no, they were a joy to work with. There was hardly any ghosting left behind, and any that was left behind, I think added to a little bit of character there. I found the liquid pencil perfect for just adding some texture in there. Bear in mind, I have got a very textured paper here, but the Artiste zigzag book does have two textures to work with, and I think these materials would work perfectly with them. I wanted to see how these would layer on top of one another as well, and rather than going over it in another wash of colour this time, I directly applied the red crayon to the page and diluted it that way using, I guess, water with graphite in it, if that makes sense. I'm sure you know what I'm doing here. Anyway, I was really happy by just how much it brought out the depth in the background, and it just made all of the other features that I had there stand out a little bit more. So, did you guys enjoy the contents of your UpCrate box? Let me know down below, and could you bring yourself to use the sketchbook? If you can think of any ideas of what I can put in that sketchbook, I'd love to hear them down below. Obviously though, I am going to do my own thing, but there's nothing wrong with drawing a little inspiration from you guys, right? Once I'd achieved a satisfying level of vibrancy for the background, I thought, right, it's time to try and tackle the skin tones here. Obviously, it was a little tricky to mix my own, as the yellow Derivan liquid pencil kind of looks green. I think the graphite in there mixed with the yellow just brings out more of a green tone than a yellow, but I persevered and I managed to get a very, very, very pale tone. I thought if I'd gone any deeper with any kind of colour there, it would have just looked a little bit odd. I really did like that the graphite added some texture, and it was absolutely wonderful to add those tonal differences in there, just ever so subtly. I used a bit of a wet and wet technique here rather than directly applying the crayons, because I just wanted it to have a little bit more freedom as to where the materials moved, and I just thought it would look a little bit more natural. I went straight in there with that cooler tone red for her lips. I thought a nice rose colour would be very appropriate there, and once that had been done, it was time to give all of her hair and all of the vines coming from there a bit of an outline. I did this by mixing a bit of the blue and the two greens together, as well as a good old dollop of graphite in there, but I didn't want it to be completely black. I just wanted it to have a difference to the base layer of green that I'd put down. Again, the round synthetic brush was perfect for this. It kept its point brilliantly. I actually really do like the Artiste stuff, so I think at some point I might have to go and check out their website and possibly accidentally buy some more stuff. Oh, it is coming up to Christmas though, and I suppose I can treat myself. And even though I've kind of semi-vowed not to buy any paints for a while, I can say that doesn't have to apply to paintbrushes and maybe some paper. I always use the paper up. You can understand the internal conflict going on here. I know you guys feel the same about your supplies too. To give the illusion of a bit of a sheer fabric for this model, I just went in there with very, very light tones. I wanted to perhaps suggest that her skin where her armour was on show, and then the clothing underneath this veil that she's got wrapped around her shoulders would be sheer, and underneath the top would be a sort of light bluey green colour. I thought it was brilliant to use the graphite again, because once you've put that down on a textured paper, it just sits into those grooves really nicely, and you do have a little bit of control where that's going to go. To add the finishing touches, I went directly in there with the crayons for the little rose that's holding it all together, and I think that just added just a little bit of interest to that part of the page. Overall, I am really happy with this box. I know I've already got the liquid pencil, but I do use that anyway, so I don't feel bad about having a little bit more. Honestly, it will all get used up. The paintbrushes are really good, and I always like the brushes that UpCrate put in with their boxes. I just think they last a good long time, and they're really good and easy to paint with. The crayons are fantastic. The sketchbook, honestly, I can't bring myself to use it just yet, so apologies again. But that aside, I really enjoyed this box, and I hope you guys do too. Of course, let me know what you guys think of the picture down below. I love reading what you guys write there. If you've enjoyed this video, there should be some more on screen that I think you're gonna love. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye!